Cristiano Ronaldo has had to issue an apology after what very much appears in this video to smash the phone deliberately, as you can just see there, and we'll take that back, out the hand of an Everton fan at Goodison Park yesterday after the 1-0 defeat. Just there, as you can see. Of course, this has trended across social media, and Cristiano Ronaldo finds himself in for a lot of criticism and a lot of anger from, of course, Everton fans, the football world in general, and Manchester United. An apology, as mentioned, has been issued. He has said that he will, I think he said that he'll offer tickets to the family to come and watch Man United play. I mean, everyone's made the same joke, so I'm not going to do the same thing about why would you punish him further. But terrible to see that from Cristiano Ronaldo. There is no defending it. There is no, well, what about the context? The longer version of the video I've seen, I haven't seen the one with sound, as in, you don't know what people were saying to him in the lead up to it. There's a video clip with sound that it's well edited, so you can't hear what they were saying. But for me, that's almost irrelevant. It's almost 100% irrelevant. He's a professional football player. He should be far more controlled, far more professional. Just for a player of his age and stature in the game, there has to be more self-control. Now, if between the young man whose phone he knocked out his hand, the parents, Everton, United, they can come to a resolution everybody's happy with, fair enough. If they were to press charges, then again, that's completely and utterly upon them. I don't actually see any Evertonians doing it, if I'm being honest. Just knowing a number of Liverpudlians and Evertonians as I grew up from the martial arts scene, they don't really like to involve the police. There are people, and are good people, that will handle it personally, get the apology. They'll probably shake hands, wipe their mouths, and move on from the situation, just from my experience. But so they may be different, and fair play to them if so. On Ronaldo doing it, we all kind of know why. We all kind of know why. Manchester United yesterday had an horrendous day at the office. A day in which should have left every single Manchester United fan fuming. Every single Manchester United fan as angry as Ronaldo was. Now, when you're angry, being angry is not an issue. It's what you do when you're angry that can be a concern for people. But Man United's fans should be infuriated. David De Gea has come out and absolutely destroyed the Man United team. And he's right to. Not good enough. That we're a disgrace. And Ralph Rangnick himself has come out and completely and utterly backed what was said by David De Gea. And he's absolutely right to do that. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is right to do that. These players need home truths. They don't necessarily need individual crucifixion by the media, and that isn't what Ralph has done. But these last few interviews and press conferences give me the same vibes as the early ones under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, what we have a propensity to do as football fans is, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer essentially failed in his attempt to get Man United back to the top, we undo and disregard and discredit everything that he did. And that's wrong. Everything he did or he said. Those early press conferences, the most famous being after the humbling smashing by Everton, ironically, just after he became permanent manager. The only element that was wrong in his speech then was that he didn't become successful. But there were players at that time not putting in the effort. They were throwing the team, the club, the fans under the bus. Jose Mourinho was wrong in a lot of his behaviors, a lot of the things, the way he spoke about players, the toxicity that he allowed to ensue. But that doesn't mean all of his messages were wrong. It doesn't mean that he wasn't wrong, that he was wrong to want players like Paul Pogba and Anthony Martial out of the team. Now, he went too far calling Paul Pogba a virus, because I don't think Paul Pogba is. But I don't believe Paul Pogba wanted to really be at Man United. How you phrase that would have been key, but the message was clear. LVG, very much the same. His words came after the fact. And we all had the propensity to do this to LVG, was we would come out and say, actually, you're only knocking the club now because you're bitter. When he first came out and criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he first came out and criticised the way Man United were run, things were on the up under Ole, and the vast majority of United fans said, you are bitter, salty, is what we all came out with. We didn't listen. And look, as football fans, we do this all the time. Gary Neville is a fouled football manager. But just because you fail as a football manager, it doesn't mean that all your other opinions on football, just because I disagree with them, are wholeheartedly wrong. By that logic, none of us should have a football opinion because none of us even tried to be managers. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense to sort of belittle everything somebody has said into is it non-credible or uncredible? Actually, my English is terrible, so I don't know. But to try and damage the credibility of someone based on other failings is wrong to me. And the reason I bring that all up is some people are unhappy with Ralph, his tactics, his lineups, and how he's managed Manchester United. I understand and respect that to a degree. However, and there is a big however here, we need to listen to what he's talking about. We need to listen to the way he speaks and the things of which he has said. Now, this was his reaction. We're going to play the soundbite here to when he was questioned about what David De Gea had come out and said.
He was talking about difficulty in creating chances, don't look like scoring goals, don't look like creating chances.
Yes, I think we've been talking exactly about that for the last 10 minutes, and I totally agree. I mean, this is not so difficult to see that this was our biggest problem. I mean, if you don't score in 95 minutes against a team who conceded 3 goals against Burnley, and we scored 3 goals against Tottenham at home, it's difficult to explain that. I mean, even for us as the coaching staff, it's not so easy to understand why we didn't create more chances in a game like this.
He kind of agrees that, and of course, De Gea throwing in that it's a disgrace, and he completely agrees. And this is what else Rangnick had to say yesterday about the players.
Knowing that a new manager is coming in.
No, I don't see any connection between this issue, and I don't think that we should allow anybody to have that alibi or that excuse. A new manager will come, and it doesn't matter if this will be announced in 5 days or in 15 days or in 20 days. The players themselves should be eager to play international football, if possible Champions League. But as long as we play like we did today, we just don't deserve it. I mean, in order to...
You hear what he said there? We just don't deserve it. And what's really key here is we should always listen to professionals when they're giving us almost answers to big debates that we have as fans. One of the things I watch a lot of shows where they kind of mix professionals and fans. And I always get infuriated that nobody appears to be asking the questions to end the fan debates. And Rangnick's just given us a bit of insight there. Rangnick has said that irrespective of the players knowing who the next manager is going to be, there being an announcement, the direction that the club is going in, that isn't an excuse. These players should be self-motivated enough to want to win the game, self-motivated enough to want to be in the Champions League. And I have heard Rio Ferdinand pull on this on shows. Where he said it's about self-pride. It's about professionalism. You should still want to win. These players have checked out. These players are already on the beach. It's almost this case of, well, if we keep losing, it's going to be... This is what's happening already. And I've criticized elements of Ralph's situation. But this is the way Man United's pattern works behind the scenes. The players know they are going to be here next season. The vast majority. We're not selling and getting rid of 10 to 15 players in one summer. I would be staggered if we did. Of course, there'll be a few extra exits because there's quite a few players running their contracts down. But in terms of getting rid of half this squad in one summer, no, not happening. Some people think we're going to get rid of 15 players. Mental. So these players know they're going to be here. Now, they may decide under the new manager to turn up, to try to put 100% energy, effort, and desire into games. That will make everybody think, it was just Ollie. It's just Ralph. But we've done that each and every single time. These players should be held account for their lack of professionalism, irrespective of who the manager is. That's not a good enough excuse. But I look at the club because the club isn't going to make casualties because of this. The club should be looking at some of its elder statesmen, some of its pros, some of its £200,000 a week plus players and saying, hang on a minute. We've listened to Ralph, and Ralph has told us it's you, and you're not trying. The coach said you three are not trying. That kind of matches what Ollie told us. And in fact, that's also matched what Jose's told us. Do you know what we're doing? That new contract offer off the table. We know you've been telling your agent to go and talk to other clubs. Do you know what? We're just going to sell you. We don't want fair weather football players at Manchester United anymore. That is what this club should do. That is how this football club should behave. But they choose not to. Manchester United are dying from the inside out because we're weak, because we're spineless, and because we're pathetic. And the fan base is a reflection of this. If we were winning games and Ralph was calling out certain players, we'd all have his back. I don't want us to get caught up in this element of he's not that great a manager. He isn't. He isn't a great manager, I don't believe. That's why he's never had one of the biggest clubs hire him and him be successful there. But is he a great DOF? Yes. Does he understand football? Yes. Has he identified a lot of internal problems at the club? I believe so. Fixing those problems, stopping player power. And by the way, players downing tools and checking out with 10 games of the season to go, that is the definition of player power. We rule the roost, not the manager. And it has to stop. On Ronaldo, as I say, he's going to get whatever punishment is coming his way. Something I think is disgraceful from him. I'm glad that he's come out and addressed it. And we'll see what happens from there. But that is not something you want to see any professional player do, least of all the most famous football players in the world. And Ronaldo, of course, ticks those boxes. Do me a big favor, people, and smash the like and share button before you go. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.